Hey guys, welcome back to another video. New year, new us, but more like new year evolved us, right? Because I don't really think there's a new you coming out of anywhere. I think because of who we are, because of how we are wired and created, we evolve. So our thinking becomes better, our perspective improves, hopefully our opinions become more informed, more educated, and everything that we are just gets better. Hopefully though, because some people actually get worse. So I would say new year, new us, right? Or new year evolved, evolved us. New year evolved me. That sounds much better. And I think that as time goes by and we get older, we really feel more evolved. I don't know why people have this general thing against getting older. I love getting older because it definitely means that I'm adding more years on top of my years, but more than anything, I'm becoming more insightful, I'm getting more experienced, I'm gaining more wisdom, and hopefully things are just compounding and becoming better, especially mentally and emotionally, because you know those are the true core of us as human beings. And also spiritually, if you are somebody who is religious in any way, shape or form. So yeah, I enjoy getting older. I think it's so great to be evolving and to be growing. I do understand the pressures of getting older, not having certain things in order. Oh, I don't have a kid. Oh, I don't have a stable job. Oh, I don't have a house. I don't have a car, and I don't have A, B, C, and D. But like, I am alive. I am in a race, not against anybody else but myself. As long as I am better than I was yesterday, last week, last month, I think everything is good. And this is obviously not to be complacent, but contentment and being able to have joy, because honestly speaking, comparison is the thief of joy, as they say, and that is so true. Especially I felt that the most last year, which was weird because we're right in the middle of a pandemic, but also not weird because it's lockdown. There's so many things, horrible things happening in the world. The news is saying one thing, but social media is portraying a whole different picture of the pandemic. During the pandemic, people are busy traveling the world, getting married, having children, buying things, owning things, and it was just a lot. And obviously this is not to make anyone feel bad about what was happening or their accomplishments that they were getting during the pandemic, but it just felt like, are we really even in a pandemic if all of this is happening right now? But again, social media is a glimpse, a curated glimpse of what people are going through. Yeah, I guess that was happening last year. So that's another thing that I feel is getting better with age, right? The fact that I am able to address certain things better. The jealousy that I was feeling, the comparison that I was feeling, it was so crippling. And not only in the sense of being able to do what everybody else is doing, but also to be able to show up for myself and to show up for the communities that I have built. For example, YouTube. When I mentioned in my previous video about going through self-doubt, self-pity, imposter syndrome, that whole cycle, it was mostly because when I come online, there are so many experts talking every single day about so many different topics. Some of the things that I also want to talk about, and I just felt so inadequate in so many ways. I really felt like, who am I to be talking about these things? Like, what do I know? How much experience do I have on these topics to be talking about things, especially like personal development? Personal development is such a crucial topic because it literally is, you're giving somebody advice that they take into their lives that could potentially help them change their lives, right? And that began to weigh so heavy on me that I just thought, wow, I actually started something, but I can't finish it because I'm rebranding myself as a personal development channel. But here I am. I'm going through the worst situation that you could imagine, with a bit of depression. I don't like to say it so much, but with a bit of depression and all of that, and I can't even help myself. So if I can't even help myself, how am I going to help other people, right? How am I going to sit here and advise other people to live better, do A, B, C, and D, work out and go to therapy, whatever that I was going to say? How am I going to help anybody say that if I'm going through this myself? And it was just so heavy on my shoulders, and I could not bring myself to sit in front of a camera and say anything. I felt like I was being fake. I felt like I was faking it, and it does not feel. People who say fake it till you make it really don't understand the gravity of that, because faking it does not feel good at all. Me even thinking about faking it did not feel good at all. And I get it. We also have this thing of be authentic, but at the same time, even coming up to be authentic did not feel good at all. I think that we really should consider some of the advice that we give to people. And obviously, just because it works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for the other. Maybe fake it till you make it work for somebody to eventually get out of a rut and become authentic again, or maybe being authentic and showing up on camera as your raw self help somebody also get back to a more stable place. But I like to be mentally stable and emotionally stable before I get on camera and do anything. Not only because I feel like that is part of me being my authentic self, but also because to even say the words, to be able to say anything out, I need to feel it a little bit. So I really cannot sit here and fake being happy when I felt horrible and dark on the inside. It was just not gonna work for me. And it also doesn't work for me when people say things like, oh, that you're really doing a good job, and when I'm going through a dark moment, none of that helps me in any way, shape or form. I think I just like to sit in complete silence and eat. That's what I like to do. That's what I would prefer to do rather than anything else. So that happened. That was kind of what took over me last year. But then I got older. My birthday came last year, and around that time, so much was going on at home as well. And I really just thought to myself, honestly, life is short. Life is so short, and so many things can pass us by. Time goes so fast, and before you know it, you are old and you haven't done things, you haven't tried things, you haven't lived to your full potential, you haven't given your all, and that is just so sad, obviously. So from that time, around my birthday, I started thinking of, failures and stuff so much more. And not just like, I feel like a failure, this is terrible, life is over, but more in the sense of, I really have to fail more. I really have to make more mistakes. I really have to just allow myself to suck at things as many times as I can and as much as I can, because the fear of failing, right? The fear of failing is really holding me back. The fear of sucking is really holding me back. The fear of, maybe people are gonna laugh at me and say, oh, look, she sucks, or she's failing at A, B, C, and D, or she's not so good, and she's not doing her best, or she's not good enough at this thing that she's doing, is really holding me back. And and then I thought to myself, okay, if I fail, and then what? The earth is still spinning, the sun is still gonna rise, right? the sun rises. The sun is still gonna rise, and you know, nobody's going to die if I fail. At least I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not like at a place where my actions are really going to cause somebody to die. So why am I even so worried about this? So that's where I came up with this whole idea of the audacity. And I was telling my friends about it, guys. And you know, this quote has been in my mind for such a long time from the moment I read it, which is, people with half your talent or skill or whatever your qualifications are getting paid more than you or are succeeding further than you, and the only difference is they probably just have a little bit more confidence to fail more than you, not even to succeed. They just have a little bit more confidence to fail more than you, or something in their mind has convinced them that I'm just gonna keep doing it, I'm just gonna keep knocking on doors, I'm just gonna keep sending out my CVs, I'm just gonna keep creating content, I'm just going to keep doing this thing until the doors that I need to open opens, the opportunities that I need to find me, and that's it. That's the difference. We are so crippled by failure, by the idea of failing, that we don't even try. We are so incredibly crippled by these things that we don't even try. Self-doubt, self-pity, imposter syndrome, and all of these things. And yes, these are very valid things. These are very, very valid problems and issues that we face. But at the same time, who you are, your destiny, your purpose, your skills, your talents, your qualifications are just as valid, and probably even more so. Just having a little bit of confidence to fail. And I'm really saying to fail because just try it out. Just give it a shot. Nobody's going to die if you try and you fail today, you try and you fail tomorrow. Nobody's going to die, guys. I'm saying that because that's the worst possible thing that I can imagine happening. What's the next thing I could imagine? Maybe no volcano is going to erupt. There's no tsunami coming your way. There's no hurricane going to form because you failed. None of those things is gonna happen. The earthquakes do not happen because somebody failed at something. So really, really just give yourself the opportunity to fail. Try it out. You will learn something. Just give it a shot. And if you're sending out CVs, you're looking for a job, every time you get a rejection letter, respond back and say, hey, thank you for responding. Please do tell me what in my CV or in my application was missing. What was it about the application that wasn't good enough, so that it's something I want to work on? Because also, if you're not failing, if you're not even sending out CVs at all and responding to them to hear that kind of response, you won't even know what you're doing wrong. You won't even know what is wrong in your CV. You just think everybody's rejecting you, but maybe there's a type of wording in your CV that's not supposed to be there, or the way you described yourself wasn't good enough, or you know, there's probably something about your method that's missing. And I'm saying this specifically for people who are sending out CVs. There's probably something in your method of application that's missing, but you won't know because you are not even sending out CVs in the first place. Secondly, you're not responding to those rejection mails and asking them, hey, what's missing in my CV? You're just thinking to yourself, they hate me because I am
5'3", I don't know.
They hate me because I am from this, or they read my name and they don't like my name, or I'm probably too qualified for the job, or whatever it is. That's for people who send out CVs. For the rest of us, we don't even send out CVs at all. So how would we even know? How would we even get rejected from a job we never even sent out the CV to? We also do that, saying no before we even try. And it's just being too negative, honestly. It's really, really being too negative. And that has stopped so many of us from so many opportunities. I remember there are things that I probably should have applied for and I didn't apply for it, and then I would later hear, maybe through a friend or somebody, a colleague or something like that, that oh, you know, you could have applied for that. The person who's there now isn't even as qualified as you. And I'm just like, okay, thanks. And it's always that. It's always something like that. Like, you should have just applied. You should have just tried. You really should have just tried. So that's part of evolved me. Evolved me is going to just try and just give it a shot. Shoot those shots. Empty the clip. Like, empty that clip and shoot your shot everywhere. And see how it goes, honestly. And the world is so huge. The world is so huge. You doing the things that you're doing, you're not even a drop in the, you're like, and this is obviously not to make you feel insignificant. It is to empower you. But the things that you're doing, all the failures that you're failing, you're not even a drop in the ocean. That's how small the effort is. That's why you should do it. That's why you should empty your clip and shoot your shot everywhere and try everything, because that yes that you're looking for is the one that changes the game. That open door that you get, that one door that opens up for you, is the one that will change the game, is the one that will give you the tools to make the impact that you want to make. But all those no's don't mean anything compared to that yes. So you should be ready to take like 2 million no's in your life and 2 million failures and mistakes, because the one is the one that makes the real difference. And anybody who has ever succeeded at anything will tell you that. You know, a lot of successful people nowadays are saying things like, people don't see my failures, they only see my success, but I have failed a lot. And a lot of successful people say that. That's why I love to watch their interviews when they're talking, because it's a little bit, it's motivational for me, especially people who are gonna be real about it. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. That's the thing that we're saying this year. New year evolved me. But also, I'm not really much of this kind of person to say new year, new me. I used to be, now I am evolved. As always, I am rooting for your success. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments in the comment section down below. Find me on all social media platforms, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.